So the first time I came to Las Vegas was in 2018. It's now 2025. I've been to Las Vegas several times since, and my life has dramatically changed. And today I'm going to talk about the difference from when I first came here, which is ironically on my stag do, the things I was doing, different behaviors, where I was at in life, versus now, where I've come in 2025 to go to a business workshop and then also get an award at Funnel Hacking Live. Now, if we scroll down memory lane and we look to 7 years ago, Charlie, what was I like then in a position in life? I was in a point where I was working full-time as a estate agent. I was working very long hours. I just started my coaching business, but I had a lot of issues. I had a lot of problems. I naturally have a very addictive personality, so I like to drink, I like to have a good time, which then when coming to somewhere like Las Vegas has obviously caused some issues which we could come into. And I think that's also where you also have to understand your own personality. And I think a big mistake a lot of people don't understand is that addiction and having an addictive personality where you like dopamine, you're very driven, and you're hungry for certain things in life, can actually be a superpower when you like learn to actually harness it and utilize it around the right things. So for example, if you have an addiction to women and drugs, it's not a good thing. If you have an addiction to building a business and helping people change their values, a good thing, right? So addiction can be flipped different way depending on what you're addicted to, and addiction is a loosely used term. But I think if I look back from when I first came to Las Vegas, I was here drinking non-stop for 4 days, doing drugs with like 12 to 15 of my best friends at the time, and it was raucous. And the behavior of who I was then versus who I am now is night and day difference, and also is the success I have in life. Because the most important thing that will decide who you are and where you are in your life is the daily habits you make. So I flew here from Dubai, 16.5-hour flight. It was also delayed an hour and a half on the plane. Then it was a 6-hour drive from LA, 12-hour time difference. I felt fucking awful the last 2 days. But in reality, like the first day I was here, did I work out? Yes. Did I stick to my diet? Yes. Did I do the work I had to do? Yes. Did I do the same thing yesterday when I still felt crap? Yes. Because I have the right habits and the winning mindset to be successful. But 7 years ago, I didn't. So when I came here, I was getting fucked up for 4 or 5 days in a row, every single day, blowing money I didn't have, to the point where I was going to, like, I remember distinctly some of my friends doing this and borrowing money from each other, like spending money in strip clubs they didn't have, doing lines of cocaine off strippers in strip clubs. Like, any vice or problem you have in life, I've done. Like, I've been through the mill, which is why I also understand that if you are a guy listening to this, you have addictive personality, you're very dopamine driven, like I am, you can change. Because you can take that addiction, that drive for dopamine, and you can funnel it into the right things in life. Money, success, helping people, giving value to the world, becoming someone that your parents will be proud of, becoming someone that your wife or future partner thinks, holy shit, like I can't believe this is my partner. Someone like who has kids and the kids look up to the dad being like, he's Superman. That's the type of person you can become, but it all comes with a choice.
Quick interjection into the podcast. If you're an online coach who's looking to scale the business, get their first 5K month, 10K month, or even get to 50 to 100K a month, we have helped hundreds of trainers do this at this point, and I've personally generated over $14 million online in the fitness industry. We have a proven methodology that works, provided you're willing to do the work. Now, if you want to book in a free business audit, we'll break down exactly where you are now, where you want to go, and what's currently holding you back. Hit the link below this video and below the podcast to find exactly how we can help you. Pick a time and we will walk you through the process of where your business is at and what exponential growth looks like. Now, back to the podcast.
And if I look at the core fundamentals in terms of how I've changed as a person, a lot of it is the thought processes and also the people I hang around. Because one of the most powerful things you have in life is your law of exposure. Once you have been exposed to something, you cannot be unexposed. So one of the reasons our clients crush it so much in seven-figure scaling systems, we had another client, Dom, hit his first $100,000 a month today. So congrats, Dom. Is because once you see loads of other people doing it, you're like, well, this is normal. But if you aren't in an environment with successful people, you will not become successful. Same thing if you're in an environment where you're going out and getting drunk all the time, and you're doing drugs, that becomes normal because that's what you're exposed to. But that's where there's also going to be a difficult part in everyone's life. And I went through that probably from 2019 to 2020 in particular, where people would be like, Charlie's changed. He doesn't come out, he doesn't go see his friends. I remember going on a holiday to Mexico, one of my friends was getting married, and everyone's like, where's Charlie? He's like, he's working. Because like I was like running my own online coaching business, I was like grinding, trying to escape the matrix and get the freedom I wanted. And people thought I was being selfish. But the reality is, you have to be selfish to be selfless. Because if you do not put yourself first, I would still be the drunken Charlie doing drugs off strippers in Las Vegas, rather than the Charlie who sits here now before you, trying to give you as much value as possible to help you change your own life. Because everything you have in your life right now, you're either choosing to accept or you need to choose to change. So if you're in a position you're not happy with the way you look, the money you have, the partner you have, the lifestyle you have, everything is your own conscious choice, which is why I'm a big believer in living life by design. I visualize this life I have, that I would get to come to Las Vegas to go to events, that I would get the 2 Comma Club X award from Russell Brunson at ClickFunnels, that I would get to drive my white Ferrari convertible to the gym every day in Dubai, that I would live in a penthouse next to the sea in Dubai. I visualized that and brought that into life through sheer brute force and action, but also by surrounding myself with the right people and having the mindset that it was possible. And you can do that too, but you just have to get over one thing. And that one thing is fear. And fear is false expectations appearing real. This is the reason you're not where you want to be in life, is you're too afraid to fail. You're too afraid of what other people think. And I look back from 2016, the particular gym I was training at the time, Physique Warehouse, people would literally be like behind my back, like, who the hell does Charlie think he is? Why is he posting topless photos of himself on the internet? Why is he doing X, Y, Z? Blah, de, blah, de, blah. And that actually really hurt at the time. But the reality is I stayed resilient, which is one of the key things of the 3 R's. You need to be successful, you need to be resilient, you need to be relentless, you need to be resourceful. I was resilient, so I didn't give a shit and just did it anyway. And this is where one of my favorite sayings is, I would rather beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. Because if I truly believe something is important to me and that this is part of my longer term vision of what I want in life and where I want to go, then I will do it regardless of if anyone else likes it or what other people think. And that might be a slightly narcissistic trait, but if you look at anyone who's a great leader, they have to have an ability to make difficult decisions. And the reason if you're not where you want to be in life right now is probably because you're too afraid to make those difficult decisions. And who's ultimately paying the price? You, because you're not happy with where you want to be. And that's why a framework I want you to actually think about right now is whatever it is with your life, a relationship, the business you want to start, the business you want to grow, the mentor you want to hire. Drawing a line in the sand and step over it. Like, this is going to be new you, this is the person you're going to become. And I'll give you an example of you for me for 2025. I came up with this idea for my 75 scale challenge. You go check out the other podcast video on this. And for today's the 31st of January, every single day I've been up before 5 a.m. Even with my terrible jet lag, I've been up at 4:30, 4 a.m. every day. Transparently, I could have got up at like 1 a.m. if I wanted to because I couldn't sleep. But I did it because I realize the 2 reasons I will not get everything I want in 2025 are: 1, I do not plan what I need to do for work the next day. Number 2, I do not get up early to do the thing. And this is where you have to understand the compound effect of small daily actions. It's what will change your life. I've posted over 7,000 times on Instagram. I haven't missed a beat since I started. Our YouTube channel, we post 3 videos every single week. Our podcast channel, we post videos 3 times every single week. Like, I turn up consistently, which is why I'm getting better at the skill. And this is where you also need to change your mind in terms of thinking you're too good to do something, you're too good to learn something. In my business, I learned every skill set across the board. Like, I could edit basic videos, I can run Facebook ads, I can do tech stuff, I can sell, I can make content, I can hire people, I can do whatever. And the reality is, if you have a deficiency right now, you probably have a massive blind spot you can't see. And this is a value of having yourself around the right people. And one of the things that took Charlie from 2018 being a degenerate in Las Vegas who didn't have any money, I remember having to share a room with 4 people, I think in the Aria Hotel, which is actually kind of embarrassing in hindsight. The hotel, it was a joke. And I remember distinctly one of my friends bringing home a girl, and then I decided to put on her bikini because I thought it was funny when I was drunk. And it's the type of stupid shit you did back then, right? But the reality is, the life you have is an accumulation of the choices you make every single day. My choice back then was not to be the person who I could have been, but I decided to make it change because I knew I was made for more. And you watching, listening to this may be feeling, you know you can do more. You know you have a higher standard you can hold yourself to. And the most important person who is going to hold you to that standard is yourself. So one of the key things that's allowed me to change over the last 7 years, create the wealth I've created, create the freedom I've created, create the impact I've created, is I had self-belief, and that self-belief came from those small wins every single day. Because you get self-belief when you make a promise to yourself and you keep it. You do not have self-belief right now because you make a promise to yourself, you're not going to eat the fucking cookie, you're going to go to the gym, you're going to get up early, and you don't do all three of them. So that's why you lack confidence, because you can't actually hold true the promises you keep to yourself. Whereas when you stack small daily wins, you start to get that self-belief. And in life and in business, there is a delayed process in terms of where you do the action and you see the results. I say it's at least 90 days until you see a huge impact and change everything. Same thing with people who want to lose weight, right? You go to the gym, you stick to your diet for 2 days, nothing changes. And that's why people get bored, because they don't understand the power of delayed gratification. However, if you do that for 3 weeks, you're probably gonna start to see some difference. So my question to you is right now, drop it in the comments, where is it in your life right now that you're struggling with delayed gratification? You can't be patient. Why does it have to be easy? Why does it have to be quick? If it was easy and quick, everyone could do it. And then would it have any value? No. So the reason people want to have six-pack abs and want to have loads of money is because it's difficult, which means it gives you high value because less people have it. If everyone had a Ferrari, no one would want a Ferrari. So this is the reality in the world you want to stand in, is that if something is difficult, good, because it means less people can do it. And if you have the balls and have the cojones to go and do the thing, it means you can separate yourself from the rest of the crowd and become an outlier. And that's how you become part of the top 1%, is by having that mindset. And with that mindset and that drive I have sought out the right people in the right rooms to teach me the skills I didn't have. And I'm still doing that right now. And that's why I'm here in Vegas early. I'm going to an Alex Hormozi workshop Monday, Tuesday, because I'll learn stuff, can ask questions, law of exposure, see how different people do different things. I'm also then going to Funnel Hacking Live for 5 days to get an award on stage, which is something that was all but a dream a few years ago. And 10 years ago, 2025 to 2015 I got an award for Employee of the Year at my estate agents, which is funny. I was good at my job. I was Employee of the Year. But the reality is I make more in a month than I made in, multiple times more in a month than I make in a year now. And I don't see what I do as work, I see what I do as play. And I was supposed to be taking some time off today, but I decided to make this podcast because I love giving value and I love doing this because it energizes me. And this is where you are true to the person you want to become and you're true to your own core values. And if you can be congruent with who you really are and maximize your potential, that's when you live the perfect life. And that can happen when you're in alignment. And this is the most important thing for you to understand, is if you're not in alignment and you're trying to do things for the wrong reasons, this is why you can't be consistent, because you're not passionate about the thing. You're not really wanting to help people, you're not really wanting to change people's lives. That's why I've been up at 4:30 a.m. doing coaching calls with people on their businesses. I don't have to do that. I want to do that. I get to do that. I get to have impact. I get to help people create generational wealth. Does that help me as well? Yeah, it gives me an amazing feeling, and also, yeah, I make money from it. But the reality is, the money you make is a direct correlation to the size of the problem you solve. And if you solve your own problems first, it then becomes much easier to solve other people's problems. So think about where you are in your life right now. What's the big things you need to actually cut out? Because people think success in life is about addition, doing more. In the reality, it's not. So for me to get into the position I am right now, what did I do? It was actually more of a law of subtraction. I stopped watching football. I cut out any friends who weren't on my wavelength. I stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs, stopped doing all this, playing video games, stopped doing all the stupid stuff that was non-congruent with the person I wanted to become. And then what could I do? Focus on the 1 to 2 things I had to do to achieve everything I ever wanted. And this is what I want to leave you with. Choose your suffering. You either choose to suffer now intensely, or you suffer a little bit for the rest of your life. I would always choose to suffer now intensely and have freedom forever and have huge monumental impact and legacy. If this hit home, make sure you share it with a friend, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next episode very soon.